One of the biggest things that stops agencies from growing is their service packages. They're super overcomplicated, they have no repeatability, and honestly, it's filled with a bunch of fluffy work that doesn't really make a big impact on their clients. So today, I want to show you a super simple exercise to package up your services so you can grow your agency. Okay, here's the 3 biggest struggles that I see a lot of marketing agency owners currently faced with. The first thing is that they are custom pricing and custom packaging their services. And this is one of the best ways to create internal chaos within your agency's operations. If every single time you sign on a client, you are doing different work for them, it's really unpredictable for the team to be able to measure out what they should be doing and at what scale. So custom pricing and custom packaging is complicated. It creates internal chaos. We want to avoid this. We want to be packaging things up. That's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. The second big mistake that I see a lot of agency owners make when it comes to their packages is performance-based pricing. I'm a flat rate fee guy. We're going to talk about that in a sec today. But a lot of agencies get into the massive appeal of having huge upside with performance-based pricing. But in my experience working with any agency that has this kind of model, they typically start off by speaking with the client saying that if we hit this goal, then we're going to get X payment, right? And it's going to be really great for you because you hit the goal. And then we also get a chunk out of that target that you hit. And the client will typically say to you, oh my goodness, dude, if we hit that target, it's going to be amazing. We'll take you out to Vegas and we'll do all this amazing stuff because we've just hit $500,000 a month in revenue. Typically what actually happens is instead of taking you to Vegas, they just send you a cancellation notice email because they can't afford that retainer on an ongoing basis. That's what always happens. So it's great for the first month, but then it sucks for retention ongoing. So what we want to be building in instead is flat rate fees. And I've just seen that so many times over. That's my experience. The third thing with packages for marketing agencies is there's no repeatability. It's not repeatable. So what a lot of agency owners start off in the industry doing is they are leveraging their skills, and they've just got a wide breadth of skills. Like they're able to do so many different things: PR, branding, copywriting, creative, email, paid ads, social media. And that's great, but that's not something that you can scale, because the whole point of building an agency is to have a honed in skill set. Like let's say it's creative media buying and then building out high level landing pages, which is what a lot of people are doing nowadays. And they are just offering that to a certain market to get a certain outcome. You want to hone in on just those key tools and then nothing else. Because if you are doing anything and everything for different businesses and you're trying to get them toward a key goal, but you're the only person that can be across so many different things for a business, then like I said before, you can't scale it, because getting somebody in to do all of that work is incredibly hard to find. They're either going to be like a $250K plus salary, and those guys don't typically come and work with businesses that are making less than $3 million a year, or you're going to find somebody else that is quite versatile, but they're like a future entrepreneur and they're going to leave your agency in 9 months and go start their own thing. So the whole goal is to just try to simplify what the offering is and deliverables are, and then have it so simplified enough to the point where you can train somebody else to do it. If you are leveraging 20 years of experience to be able to produce out a certain service, then you're gonna have to find somebody else, if you ever wanted to get out of that delivery, to do that work, and they're gonna need 20 years plus experience as well, roughly. Yeah, you get the point. So we just want to find something that is easy to train somebody, possible to train somebody else in over a reasonable amount of time, so that you can get your butt out of delivery. Typically, if you don't do this and it's not repeatable, and it's a bunch of different services and skill sets that's really hard to train, means that it's not repeatable. You're offering a service that relies solely on you to do it, and that's what's keeping your butt in delivery. So we want to avoid that. So these are the biggest struggles that are going on inside of marketing agencies. What our goals are is to productize your service offering, find your first flat rate fee, and finally, make your service offering simple and repeatable. Speaking of simple and repeatable, let me give you the best analogy that I've ever heard when it comes to packaging up your services. Let me talk to you super quickly about a guy called Colin Chapman. So Colin Chapman was a British engineer who founded Lotus in the 1950s. He believed one thing more than anyone in motorsports at the time, which is adding power makes you faster, but removing weight makes you much faster. Whilst other teams focused on bigger engines, reinforced chassis, heavier materials, Chapman obsessed over structural efficiency, minimal materials, eliminating unnecessary parts. Now, because of Chapman's efforts, Lotus became one of the most dominant teams in the 1960s and 70s. They won multiple constructor championships and multiple drivers championships. But Chapman changed how everyone built race cars. You see, when you do things like reduce weight inside of a car, you can accelerate faster, you can brake shorter, you can corner better, you can reduce tire wear, you can reduce fuel consumption. It all compounds. Now, how does this relate to your packages? Well, a lot of agencies right now are trying to add in a heck of a lot of horsepower. They're doing way too many things to drive a certain impact in a business. And what I know in my experience is that less is more. This saying here, which is simplify, then add lightness, is all today's video is about. We're trying to take things out of your packages. We're trying to refine down to the main things that drive the best result, and just those things. We don't need to be solving every single problem inside of a business that we're serving. We need to work with the right types of businesses that are ready for growth, and then just adding on like key tools that are packaged up inside of our service delivery that can deliver an amazing impact to the client. And that is something that we can scale. It's really hard to win the race when our packages are these heavy built, horsepower focused cars. Instead, we want to build the Lotus. We want to have something that's light, it's speedy, accelerate fast, brake quick. It has all those elements for us to be able to actually scale the business. Okay, so the big goal is, this is for every agency that I work with, we want to find your cash cow. In my agency, we would have anywhere between 40 to 50 clients. 80% of those clients were on one package, which is called our layup pack. The other 20% were on smaller versions of that layup pack. It made our service delivery really, really easy and really repeatable. Now, you don't have to get exactly to that stage, but you want to get close to it so that your business, the way that you are delivering your work, is simple, it is repeatable, and it is falling in line with one key package that has set deliverables, and you kind of just deliver it every single time. So that's your cash cow. The next thing is we want to make sure that this thing is as repeatable as we can possibly make it. Repeatability is the most important thing. If it is not repeatable, it is therefore not scalable. So here's an activity. What I would love for you to do, and we will probably leave a document down beneath this video so that you can download it and work through this exercise, is we're gonna be turning your services into packages. Here's what I want you to do. Every single thing that you currently offer inside of your agency, I just want you to list all the way up the top. So you might offer meta ads, you might offer creative, you might offer email, go high level, you might offer copywriting. Some of you guys might offer social media management. List them all out at the top. Then what I want you to do is I want you to write the specific outcome that you help people achieve. Now, this is super important. I think a lot of people do forget the importance of building a package, and the reason why you're doing it is to not just offer them a bunch of different shit so you can charge them a certain retainer. It's to actually help them get towards a result. And if I was sitting in a seat like a lead generation agency for like a professional practice or a trade-based business or allied health clinics, like a lead gen agency, which I know a lot of you guys are, all I'd be wanting to use is creative, meta, and go high level. Like I wouldn't want to be touching anything else. You know, when you talk about like email, you talk about copywriting, you talk about social media management, like that's horsepower, but it's not helping you win the race, okay? So what's the main outcome that you want to help people drive? Well, maybe it's, you know, daily qualified lead inquiries. Okay, let's say that that's my goal. What I want you to do is write out what yours is. Next, all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna circle the things that I really need to help myself get toward that result. So what I just said before was meta, creative, and go high level, done. That's all I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna be pulling this into my packages. So I've got meta, I've got creative, and then I've got go high level. Other major inclusions, sometimes your go high level might not be the service. So I do see some people have like specifically like they're listing out like go high level, and then it's like the landing pages that they're building, and then maybe it's some like automations and lead flow. It could also be like things like sales trainings. So like if you're working with somebody to help them get leads, here's a big thing as well with a lot of lead gen agencies, is that lead gen agencies don't realize that when they add their service, they actually create more problems for that business in the future as well, that compare to the problems that they're probably dealing with now. Like if I added 100 leads to a business tomorrow, they would struggle to manage them. And if I also coupled that up with like a $2,500, $4,000 monthly retainer, I'm causing more problems with the business because now they don't know how to handle those leads. They don't know how to service them, how to contact them, how to close them. And that's where agencies need to move away from just being like, I'm a lead gen agency, I'm just gonna get you leads, I'm not gonna do anything else. We need to move from service providers to solution providers. So what's the overall solution to help the business get an overall goal, which is obviously at the very end of the line, it's more cash in the business owner's pocket. Okay, so how do you help them get that? Well, it's obviously not just getting them leads, but it's getting them closer to the end result, which is getting them a quote or getting them a qualified booked call or meeting. It's getting them closed. It's getting money in the bank. It's getting them accepted. And not every single one of us have to then offer appointment setting services or offer closing services or offer, I don't know, other things that might get them across the line further from a lead to a, money in the bank. What we want to do is give them resources. For a lot of the agencies that we're working with, it's around training resources to help them understand how to contact the lead. Or if it's creative and you're not offering, like you don't want to get into the creative development and bring that in-house, then give them material and training and resources on how to make the creative. The more resources that you can give these guys to help them get toward that end result, and then you have like the aspects of done for you, done for them, as coupled up with giving them additional information they need to know to scale their business, that is a match made in heaven. That actually gets people really great results. Okay, I'll digress on that. So now what you've got is, out of all the stuff that you offer, the main levers / tools that get them a result. Then you've got the other major inclusions that might be listed out here. If you don't have anything, that's fine, don't list it. And then you just got the inclusions listed down the bottom. So it's like, what's their reporting look like, communications, weekly WIP meetings. And then what we want to do is just set the price. So I'll give you an example of what this might look like. So I might have a bunch of different stuff that I'm offering. Meta, Google, email, SEO, creative graphic design, content shoots, and I might be a trade-based agency and I'm consistently booking 30 to 50K in new projects every single month. Well, to do that, if that's the big goal that I want to get these guys to, I just need meta ads and creative, so graphic design, but then I also might need to have like additional major inclusions, so go high level and then like sales trainings. Inclusions, these are like some of the main inclusions. This is just like a rough guide. Put whatever you want. Okay, this is just what I typically see inside of agency inclusions. KPI setting, historical audits, static image creation, and then you want to just be setting parameters around this, usually off of the level of ad spend. So if you're spending X amount, we should be making X creatives. It kind of just puts better parameters and then set deliverables so you know how much output the team needs to do and then how much work, like total clients, each individual or each pod within your agency can manage. Meta ads, profit reporting, go high level landing pages, parameters around that, how many. Go high level automations and emails, parameters around that, how many. Weekly WIP meetings, monthly review meetings, quarterly planning, creative revisions, creative strats, sales trainings, everything else. Then what we want to set is your average retainer value, which is up the top here. So what is that number? Is it 3K? I would be setting a idealistic goal. We're not doing tiering just yet. So if you're thinking about, well, how does tiering work into this? We're not going to cover that today. I'll touch on it. But what we talked about before was this guy. We're just trying to find your cash cow. So your cash cow should just be like, if I just did this as a base and charged 3K for it, my clients would get an amazing result. And if I just did that every single time over and I had 30 clients, I'd be close to 100K a month in monthly turnover. Happy days. Okay, cool. Once you've got all this laid out, then give it a cool name. Make it sound badass. Like my package was called the layup pack. It was called the layup pack because in basketball, dunk, the layup is the easiest shot in basketball. When you're right next to the ring, you just finger roll it in. It should be right there. It's the easiest thing. So we kind of use that as a play on words. What's yours? Give it a cool name. Title it, be something that you're proud of. So once we've got the base, then we want to get into like really what the inclusions and then the details are. I'll just give you an example once again of what this can look like inside of your packages. But how I've found it best to package up services is by taking what a lot of those, those pricing models for like SaaS companies, and you can see like all the inclusions, and then like next to it, it's got like the different like tiered packages, and you've got like the difference, whether it's a tick and it's included in this tier, or it's an X and it's not included, or it's X amount of assets. If it's like creators and graphic design, each different tier might have 10, 20, 30. So what I found is like you would give the inclusions, so like the details, so like meta advertising, and then it'll be like up to 3K in ad spend. Or it will be like graphic design, and then for this, it will be like 10 assets, right? So those are the details, and then all the way down the bottom, you do the pricing. So an example of this would look like this, where we've got all the inclusions listed down the side. So we've got meta ads management, we've got static image creation, you've got go high level landing pages, email automation, sales training coaching, creative strategy / guidelines, creative revision, KPI benchmarks, profit reporting. The list kind of goes on. And then what you can see is the deliverables, the details. So for meta advertising, it's up to 3K in spend. For static image creation, yes, it's included, but how many do you need to have? I would highly suggest not just putting a tick there. I'm just giving you a surface level overview of how you can lay it out. What are the details of it? Go high level landing pages. Yep, you get one opt-in page and then full landing page sequence flow. It doesn't come with email automations. It doesn't come with sales training and coaching. It does come with creative strategy and guidance. And again, this is just the package. How you pitch this is different. What you showcase to people, the plans, the tool, the help, all that kind of stuff. As you go into that in your sales pitch, that is for you to discuss with the client to make them aware of what exactly creative strategy and guidance looks like, and then showing that, opening that up and giving them a very clear window into how that looks for previous clients you've worked with, so that they can get a good understanding of whatever that tick represents. Well, I'm getting a full rundown of like a framework around creative that does perform really well for e-commerce businesses or for professional practices in the legal space. And then I also get to see every single month a live overview of some of the best performing ads. Like that's exactly what that looks like, and then it gets tailored to me. I get that scripted out, I get the best recommendations, and then we do review processes every single week from the creatives that I've shot, sending it back to the team so they can tell me whether it was good or not, and then performance and data and everything else. You want to explain that to them on a call, okay? This is kind of just saying, all we're doing here within packages is just landing the plane and saying to them, like, this is the stipulation of everything you get inside of your packages. Same with sales training, same with creative revisions. KPIs, profit benchmarks, yes, it's all included. Quarterly planning might not be included. It's up to you. Like, I definitely with inclusions wouldn't limit like support, because I think that the biggest thing that we want to be doing is making sure that the relationship and the support is always there for your clients. And then you just got your price down the bottom. So what I'd love for you to do is take inspiration from what I've laid out, just write out what your inclusions are. And then next to that, write out the details. And then what you can do is you can just add in another tier and then another tier. And then you can just up each of these inclusions as the tiers go up. But this stuff kind of stays the same. So it's a bit of an easier layout. Okay, cool. That's my last page. All in all, the most important thing to remember is that you want everything that you do to be as repeatable as possible. With a lot of agency services, especially the ones that I audit, it's solely reliant on the founder to be able to deliver it. And that's so great if your plan is to become this juggernaut freelancer and have some hiring people offshore in the Philippines that can help you deliver certain aspects, but it comes all the way back to you. When I start working with any agency that comes into our community, one of the biggest things is that we do a 90-day financial audit within their business, and then we have a look at their packages, and we just see all of the horsepower, all of the weight that this agency founder is offering and carrying, and then giving in the packages. And then they're trying to scale with all that weight on their shoulders. And when it comes to you scaling, when it comes to you climbing the mountain of business growth, we don't want you to have a freaking 50 kilo backpack on. We want you to have a 10 kilo backpack on, which gives you all the resources you need to get up to the top of the mountain, not a bunch of other stuff. Like, you don't need to bring a crock pot to do a slow cook halfway up the mountain. You just need like a little protein bar, okay? It's gonna do the same job, give you the nutrition you need to keep going. Less is more. If we can finish with Chris Chapman's famous quote, or Colin Chapman. Spencer literally goes, Colin Chapman's famous quote that he did was, simplify, then add lightness. That's all we are trying to do within your packages. Make them simple. KISS is a model that I've been sticking to for quite a while. We just keep it simple, stupid. So simplify what you're doing and then add a little bit of lightness and you go a lot further with your packages. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you have anything else that you would like to see from us in terms of material, agency, questions that are outside of any of the topics that we've discussed, please leave a comment down below. We're looking for inspiration on stuff to shoot. Right now our process is just saying, that's a cool idea, let's just shoot that. So if you can give us some inspiration on what you would like to see, we would love to hear it in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.